right, now I'm ready. Okay, so it's wireless, and you take out your stand, you put your puppet, and you're off. And you're off to the races. It runs 8 hours, and it's strong, and it's loud, and it's got bass and treble controls, and it has its own MP3 player, and blah, 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 blah. So it's a great way if you want to get in, get out, be a great performer, and if you're doing a library, or you're doing a school, or you're doing a private party, or you're doing a big room like this, which is 400 people, and it still works fine. It works. Music-wise, I'll show this off. How much? See what I mean? I turned off. Who did that? See? I didn't have to rely on them. All right, thank you. All right. Music-wise, this one's expensive. They're a couple $1,000s. They're a few grand. And then music-wise, this guy Caesar, I was always doing these shows, and I would have CD players and go into comedy clubs and say, hit this time, do this at that time, do this, do that. And it was really difficult to have people hit your cues. They always would mess it up, and it's just annoying. And then I tried Kerry Pollock's stuff back in the 90s, which was really great, and it was revolutionary. And then I tried the iPod thing, but it grew and it grew and grew, and I ended up coming up with this thing, and I'm just thrilled about it. This is a little black box that has an MP3 player built into it, in a sense. You take an SD card and throw MP3 sound, MP3 audio files on it, and you just number them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever way you want. So it holds like about 100 instant cues on demand, not in any sequential order if you don't want, but on demand. I'll show you how this works. So I just put a piece of Velcro on there, and the Velcro actually holds it in place and has a little backlight you can see. Plug it in. And that's it, you go. And you're right. So that's it. So there's a little green light on there, and I can see the cue that I'm ready, and that's it. So this is your controller. It has 10, 12 buttons on it. And if I feel like creating the mood of suspense, and I say, guess what, folks? Listen, I have a great thing to show. Or if I want to be like, good night, you've been great. Whatever it is, it's at your fingertips. You're here. It's real. It's in the moment. If somebody is doing something and you say, that guy's an idiot, and you're like, you are an idiot! So, but here's my point, though. My point is, you go from having a good act to a rock star, like this. And so music and sound take what we do and make it bigger, better, fuller. So you put a backdrop up real quick on a quick jet set, you have your own music, you have a couple of good puppets, you write good jokes that are poignant, and next thing you know, you're tripling and doubling your income and view of how you look in front of other people. This guy's a pro, he comes in, he knocks it out, he makes us laugh, and he's out the door. It's like, wow. It's like you're hitting him on the head with a shovel and you're gone. It's pretty funny. So, I love it. It's a lot of fun. And I keep changing it a lot, the music, and I changed, there's two things I gotta bring up. I'm pretty friendly with Bob Rumba, who I have to thank two people here. Bob Rumba has been a really good supporter of everything I've done, and speaking of which, and even this, he even gave me an idea. He said, I saw the funniest thing, because he watches cartoons. He said, he's nuts. He watches cartoons, and he loves cartoons, and I love him about that. He's out of the box. So he says, I saw this character walking through the water. It was so funny. He goes, that would be so funny to do in reality. I was like, damn, that's right. That's a great idea. So now when I have audiences come up, especially we had a storm in New Jersey, I said, be careful, there's lots of flooding when you walk up here. It wasn't my idea, it was Bob's, but I do it. So, the point I'm making here, which I don't know where I'm going with, but by the way, I have no lecture put together. I spent so much time in that stupid chipper. I can't tell you. Anyway, so I'm in my garage sweating with that stupid chipper. I mean, just trying to figure this thing out. And it's not ready, but by next year it probably will be, but I won't do it again. So my whole, two things, let me go back. Before, my point is this, with Bob especially. I run everything I do through Bob. Why? Because he's off the planet the way he thinks. And by having people off the planet, that's what I want. I don't want people that think every day. I want people to think outside the box, because when you take two outside the box things and put them together, you have something unique and fresh and new. And even this app, he was the first person, after I made it, I said, here, have it, take it, do it, see what you come up with. You know what he does? He comes up with he does library shows, so he comes up with a story, where he does like a pirate story, and of a treasure. He made up a game show. He made all these different things where he has the characters on the screen from a book, like a picture of a picture book. And he'll start reading the book, the wording in the book, and then he'll talk to the pirate. And as he's reading, the pirate goes, that's not the way it happened this way. And I'm like, that was the most amazing thing I ever saw. Then he came up with another show. So basically he's taking it and bringing it to libraries and schools and doing things with stories as a virtual ventriloquist, reading stories, interacting with the characters as you read through the stories. To me, I never saw that coming. To me, that was brilliant. So I was actually thinking of retooling the app to make it work just for that. But you see, again, this is out of the box. This is taking the old and the new and making something new. Now you go to a library show as a ventriloquist, it's very popular. But if you go as a library performer, as a ventriloquist that teaches reading and tells stories and interacts with people that are talking about it, you're upping the game, So I want to bring that point up. The other thing, in reference to this, the apps and the sound and all that, the sound has enhanced my show so dramatically that people think it's a whole new show, and it's not. It's the same show, but it's been enhanced by this music and sound. Also, the way you come in and out of this stuff in a quick way really changes the way perception of you as a performer. People think you're a better professional because you're able to come in and snap it up and snap it down. They look like, wow, this guy's got his stuff together. He knows what he's doing. As opposed to people that come in with all this stuff and they don't put it together in an hour, and it's so contrived. And you know, a couple of weeks ago, I did a project graduation at 2 o'clock in the morning in Union City, New Jersey, in a theater of about several hundred people. And there was a long distance between myself and the audience, about very far, probably they went back that far. It was a beautiful theater, but far distance. The stage was tremendous. They had sound that was all around the room, but it was like too much, and you couldn't connect with people like you can now. So I took my sound system, went right on the floor, and did my show at the pit, shooting up this way, put my sound up and went and had a great hour show. And right after me, a hypnotist came on, a good friend of mine, and he did an hour show. He didn't have that sound, and I was leaving, so he had the stage. He tapes all his chairs on stage, and he's about to do his show, and he couldn't connect with the audience because of the distance as well, and he had to rely on their sound, which was pinging. He had to tape his own chairs, and the guy who was the director of the event comes over to me and says, John, how come, you know, you're really great. You come in, you know what you do, you went right there, you killed him, the people loved you, and this guy would have to tape his chairs, he doesn't have his own sound system, he doesn't have any music, everything's not working. He's looking at the performer as the performer's a bad performer because he didn't come in with his stuff. And so essentially what I'm saying is that I'm making him look bad because I'm doing it better than he is. But that's not the case. This guy flew in from Texas to go do the job. But the guy doesn't know it. He only sees pragmatically, hey, this guy's doing the right thing, this guy's doing the wrong thing. Everything's black and white, right and wrong. So my point to you folks is, if you want to make your show go from regular to rock star, add in the music, add in more poignant jokes, theme things, and get in and get out quick, and make it tight and smooth, and so you can transition quickly, and then people will look at you as being a better performer on some level. I think other than that, that's all I had to say about these things. I just want to, yes? Yeah, when you fly with this, there's actually they make a ATA type case that fits into, and then you just check. So you can bring it anywhere you want easily. It's considered one bag though, you know. No, well, that's interesting. How many times do things get there and you don't? This has happened often with matzah, with clove. In fact, a couple months ago I went to Canada to a show, and I take the heads with me on board all the time, and then the bodies didn't show up. So, Yeah, it was really, by the way, to me, it's so internally frustrating when you're a puppet, you know, I can see your faces as you grind the puppet, you're like, oh no, because you know what, the puppets to us are important, you know. So I get to Canada, it doesn't come there, so what I ended up doing was I went to like this Toys R Us kind of place in Canada, and I bought kids' clothes, and I'm in my hotel room taking newspaper and cardboard and stuffing it in, and I take the puppet, and I got this wavy, gravy kind of like scarecrow puppet to do the show, and fortunately it came the next day, but it was nasty. I was trying to call ventriloquists locally in Canada if I knew anybody that can go get a puppet bar. You know, that is frustrating, but that's why I really prefer to drive, but sometimes it's impossible. I did a job in Saranac, New York in April. In fact, my video guy was there with me, and we drove up there. It was just below Canada, and for me it was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 hours. The next morning I had an 8 a.m. flight at JFK to fly to St. Lucia to do a corporate job for a millionaire guy, by the way, which was really cool. 23 millionaires, flown from all over the world for his wife's 49th birthday. Yeah, and I couldn't wait to see what millionaires and billionaires, in fact, Oprah stayed at this resort. That's how nice this place is. It's like a really fancy place. I couldn't wait to see what 21 millionaire people and 2 billionaires look like in a room, like what kind of behavior they have. By the way, they're children. They were drinking, drunk, acting foolish, and still college kids almost. I mean, that's how stupid they act, like, you know. So it just goes to show you, folks who make a lot of money, you get stupider. I'm not that lucky yet. I'm just, yeah, good. But yes.
What's the name of the audio equipment and the music?
The name of the audio, this is called the Anchor audio system. As a matter of fact, if you want to see it online, this is called the Beacon system. It's the biggest of them. There's other smaller ones that are battery operated radio as well. But, and they're smaller, they're little ones. And they have a couple different sizes, and they all have wireless mics. But AnchorAudio.com or AnchorAudioUSA, I don't know how to sell them, but it's something like that, Anchor Audio. So, and the music player is from Caesar Alonso. He's in Spain. It's called Cesarial Soundmaster. That's C-E-S-A-R-A-L, Cesarial Soundmaster. And I love it. What's cool is, it's great, it's really good. So what's cool is that this guy Caesar, I've had a good relationship with him over the last several years now, because I bought this thing, it was $1,200 when I bought it, and now I think it's like $8 or something like that, maybe not 8 or 9, $8.50 or something. But when I bought them, this was great. See, this is what I love about people. When you get a team of people around you that you can do stuff with, it's great because you're able to work with them constantly on other projects. And this guy, when I say to him, hey, you know, I'd like to have a fade button so you can play something.
We try. 1, 2, 3, my baby don't mess around because she loves me so, and I don't blush.
You can do a fade out. So bring people up and down the stage. You can start the music as they walk up and fade it as they come next to you, and vice versa on the way out. That's very important for the ins and outs of bringing people up and down for audience participation. It fills the dense, uncomfortable, awkward space. So I called Caesar and I said, we need a fade button on this thing. No charge, send me the thing back, I'll build a new one, send it to me. How's it work? Great. You know what else I need? I need to be able to do this. No problem, I'll send you another one. He just kept sending me until everything. Finally I got to a point where I was like, it's perfect. He goes, great, no charge. Everything I did, he just wanted to make it better. The man cares about his product so much that he is willing to give it to you to make it right, rather than sit there and nickel you all the way down the line. So to me, a man like that has got integrity, and I prefer to give my money to people like that any day. He's a great man. Good guy, so.
You put all your own sounds on?
Yeah, well, he do all the sounds come on him. He gives you a SD card, and on there is a bunch of good, funny sound effects, children's stuff, Harry Potter, wand stuff, all kinds of really cool things. But I took them all off and ended up using my own after a while. I still constantly add new things on and off to change the shows. Like, I did an Orthodox Jewish crowd, which is none here, I bet. And I don't think I did it in Monticello, New York, as an Orthodox Jewish camp. This is a very strange thing. I mean, I'm not disrespecting these people, but it's a different kind of mentality. They're very closed off. They don't allow people into this secular life that they lead. And they asked me to come in and do a show, and I'm not allowed to use any music with words in it. I can only use classical music. And so I just took out the SD card and I put in another one specifically for that show. And by the way, that's how simple it works, because the card is here. So you basically pull out the card and swap it to another one for another 100 songs, or whatever you want. So I do an illusion show too with families at theaters and stuff, and I take the illusion show card and I have it in that box. I just swap it when I get to that show, and I know it has all my music on it for that particular show. And I have other ones for family or kids or whatever. I just swap the card. And I make duplicates of them and put them in my box to carry with me. I carry a duplicate on my phone. I can always throw it out at SD card at Radio Shack anywhere in the country in case something got broken or lost or whatever. It's essentially, I haven't found anything better. It's kind of cool. Yeah?
How much is that?
That little box?
Will it work with any sound?
It will work with any sound system that you plug it in, depending on which wiring you use. It has an 1/8 of an inch jack in and out, but you can swap it to whatever you want. And I think they're about $800, I believe so. Yeah?
How do you said that you connected the Wii remote with
Yeah.
Bluetooth, right?
See, the kids want to know, how do you connect the Wii remote? What is the question?
You did connect it with a Bluetooth, right?
It's connected to a Bluetooth, yes. You gonna try to go home and do it? Benjamin, I have a new custom for you. I love you. I'm gonna go there one of these days. Yes?
Spell it again.
How do you spell again? Go to school. Yes. How do you spell it? His name's Cesario. Speaking of which, I wrote this joke this morning. It was pretty fun. The cop stops me when he's driving here to Kentucky, and the guy goes, "Hey," he goes, "You know why I'm stopping you?" He said, "Because you did really bad in school as a child." There's only one ticket. It's C-E-S-A-R-A-L. It's Cesario Soundmaster. And he makes a lot of magic products and stuff like that. They're really cool, yeah.
What happens if you press the wrong cue?
Oh, what happens if you press the wrong cue? You press the wrong cue. And I've done it. But you can quickly get out of it, the stop button, so you could be doing this and kill it. You know, I want to do Michael Jackson.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes.
That's another thing. You have all your intros put on you. You have somebody do a voiceover for you. You just have the stop buttons. You can just stop it or fade it if you want.
But intro.
This intro thing is interesting too. I met a guy who's a magician who makes intros. So listen, so now I have 10 different intros for my shows, depending on where I go. If it's a children's show, I have a children's intro. If it's an adult show, I have an adult intro. So like here's one that I had made for a kid show. It's great.
It's showtime. A time for magic, illusion, and a lot of fun. A show where you become part of the magic. But in order to have the best show possible, there are a few simple rules that we all must follow. Number 1, we must be sitting down. Number 2, we must have our hands raised if we want to help out. And the most important rule of all, we have to have a big smile on our face. Smile real big and put your hands together for your performer, John PIzzi.
So that's a kid's one. I have several other ones. I have in the middle of the show, breaks.
The entire staff of the show would like to thank each and every one of you for being here for our show. Without you, we would have no... Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes tonight's performance. As you leave, we ask that you please gather all personal belongings, with the exception of your credit cards and wallets containing cash. Please leave those items on the front edge of the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our pre-show Lucky Color Cash Prize giveaway. If you're wearing any article of clothing that is red in color, you've won the grand prize of $500 in cold hard cash. To receive your prize, you must report to the lobby and give the attendant your winning code number, which is 8633-258-882-032, 1642-588-25106-148-609-1264. Congratulations from all of us. No prize is awarded without valid winning Lucky Color Cash Prize giveaway code number. Offered not valid in Wyoming, New Jersey, and Hawaii. Odds of winning are 10 trillion to 1. Money awarded will be made payable in the form of Monopoly money and will be mailed to the winning audience member within 6 months.
I'm gonna stop, man. I got 10 of these things, but yes. This is my point is good to rock star. Good to rock star. Music, sound, visual, cues, jokes, comedy, in, out, money, next. That's my life. You have gas? this taking a Walking Dead? What happened? All right. Yes. Hey, first of all, I don't know how much time. It'll be like an hour, I think, right? Mr. Ken Crow?
Yeah.
I have a half hour more? Great. I'm going to do my strip act. All right. I don't know how much time I do have. How much do I have?
You have stuff to sell?
I have a couple things to sell. I only have, the only thing I have here is, because I didn't finish my book, which I'm hoping to really finish. I just have these brochures about this virtual ventriloquist app that I made. If you're a professional performer, if you're not doing this full time, this may not be a great thing. But if you're a professional performer, you're looking to make money as a ventriloquist, you really want to grow. This app is a good thing if you're creative enough to make this flow and you want to, try something unique and different, and you've been doing this a while. If not, it's probably not for you in the beginning. The other thing I have for sale is I don't have a lot to sell. I have these little Andy dolls. These are great. I made these up a few years ago, and they were $20 on my website, but I sell them here for $5. They're like little Andy. The last puppet I did last night. These are little Andy dolls, and they have a keychain on them. They hang in the back, so it's like hey, you can hang in your car and stuff. And then you press them in the stomach, and they say rude things.
Boy, are you desperate.
Yeah, so these are. That's kind of.
Hey, pal, I guess you should have paid your gas bill.
Yeah.
Wow, you're good. I didn't even see your lips moving.
Oh, that's good.
Hey, nice shirt, pal. When did the clown die? Hey, thanks for buying the Andy doll. Sucker! Hey, isn't this better than you call?
They're all clean little. There's like 9 or 10 jokes on them. These are $5. I'll sign them if you want. These are cool. I like these. I don't have many of these left, so if you guys want, I have about 40 or 50 of them, I think. No, I have warehouse. I put $25,000 into those Andy dolls. I have a warehouse full of those things from China. Yes. which is made in China. Yeah. How much time do I have? I can go what?
Another 20 minutes.
Oh, 20 minutes? I don't want to bore people. Yeah, I'll be more than happy to answer questions. I have no agenda here, and I just go for an hour. It's amazing. It's amazing what caffeine does. Oh, yeah? Caffeine and I'm sorry, dealer room? Okay. Dealer room and lunch. I got 20 minutes. Okay. So 20